So, good Tuesday morning, everyone. I'm Jim,
And I'm Marge.
and we're living the dream, literally. So, we're about to take you on a trip to Manatee Springs in Levy County, Florida. Kind of butts the Swanee River, and it's supposedly, inundated with manatees as the water gets colder. They move inland a little bit into the spring to stay warm. So, we're going to take you along on that journey. What we wanted to do first was tell you how we get the herd ready to get into Noah's Ark. How we get them all corralled and up and running, and that's pretty much Marge's responsibility. So what does happen?
So we have to trick them ever so slightly. When we get up and we're having our coffee, and they start milling around after they've had their breakfast, we start closing bedroom doors, because once they get under the bed, it's impossible without moving the bed to get them. So we'll kind of do that nice and sneaky, and then we don't bring them out for usually a few hours later, roughly about an hour before we get ready to leave, because it gives them time to get out there and get settled in. So we got to act quick though, because once you grab one and put them in the crate, the rest of them hear it and they just start getting all freaky.
Yeah, and that's an interesting point, because once the crates come in, we kind of leave them hanging around for maybe a couple hours before we corral them, and they're onto that.
Yeah, they're onto it. They're pretty.
Usually because they think we reek of veterinary deception and they're going to the vet.
Sure.
But once they get out there, and like Margie said, maybe an hour and a half before we really get ready to roll, we put them out there, and that gives them a chance to acclimate to the RV and maybe find their hiding spot or pick their spot that they want to travel in. And they're actually pretty good.
They're pretty good in the RV.
Yeah.
Sometimes Sherlock gets a little weird and he'll start howling, but it's usually for a few minutes. He pants a little bit. I don't know if he's nervous, and but then he settles down. Alfred kind of sets the pace, so we put him out there first because he's super chill.
Yeah, he's the
and
cooler.
Everybody kind of just, he's the cooler. So everybody just kind of like, oh, okay, Alfred's okay, so we're okay.
Yeah.
But they all find their little spots, and Alfred and Bella we can carry out, because even if they were to get out of our arms, they're not going anywhere too fast. The rest of them, we don't want to take any chances with them getting spooked. So we put them in the crate and bring them each out individually.
Yeah, we actually have 6 individual crates. Each cat has his own or her own crate. We travel with 2 permanent crates that are on the RV, and then we bring an additional one that we just keep with us. And that's more for, if somebody's got to go to the vet, or, God forbid we break down or something happens emergent on the road, where we can get the cats out of the RV and have them at least corralled until we figure out what's going on. We also carry 4 separate pop-up crates that'll hold an extra large dog up to about 70 pounds. So we really have done a lot of prep with regards to safety for not only us, but probably more them.
More them than us.
Yeah, probably more them.
We can take care of ourselves. They really can't. They're not used to, God forbid, if we broke down, and they'd have to be in something, because we couldn't stay in the RV if it's going to be towed. And we found out that Good Sam apparently will make preparations for you if you break down and they need to tow you. They'll get transportation for you and pets.
Yeah, which is cool.
So, yeah.
And guys, anything that we're talking about, please, leave a comment below. Let us know if you've experienced anything different, if you do something different. And I think everybody who talks on YouTube or travels with pets or does anything in general has that overall disclaimer that says this is just what works for Margie and I and our herd. It might be completely different for you, but information sharing is huge. So any information we can impart to each other, keep these little fur babies safe and happy and having fun in their life is pretty cool. So we're about to head out, and we have not run the RV since late November of 2020.
Just before Thanksgiving, we went to Alabama.
Yep. Yeah. So Billy and Valerie, we all caravanned up to Gulf Shores, Alabama, up there in Fort Morgan. Had an awesome time. But that's the last time the RV has run. We did have a couple of trips scheduled after that kind of fell by the wayside. But now it's up and running. We've got a couple of things that we want to do to the RV in order to get it prepped for that northern trip, which is coming quite quickly, the end of May. and that's going to be several states and several weeks of RVing. So
I think
that'll be pretty.
The longest we've stayed in our RV isn't even a week.
No.
So
So
it's
this will
gonna
be
be-
rather interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So we got to do some stuff to the RV, and we'll certainly talk to you about that when we get that done and get ready. So let's have some fun.